Welcome back to the Mark 1 build. If you've not watched these series as yet, there'll be a link somewhere up here to actually go back to the first video so you can follow it along. Unless you just want to see me fighting with electrical problems. Get the ignition to turn over, which isn't best. So we knew there was a problem behind the dash, so I kind of thought I was going to have to take dash out anyway to see what the issues were behind there. But yes, it's just over the age of the car, you know that multiple people have adjusted, played with and modified things, put radios in and stuff like that. So you can see where there's a chocolate block on the radio and other bits. So, fault finding on this lovely car, I noticed that the ignition was intermittent, switching on and off. Having a little dig, noticed that the solder wasn't quite right. Somebody had cut the wire and then buttered two connections up and tried to solder together. There's not enough wire there, so we're going to have to remove the dash to assess all the wiring. We know that somebody's took the dash out because there's two screws are missing here already, and then there'll be a couple of screws behind here, a couple of screws behind these two instrument clusters, then disconnect the dash, and then all that should nicely come out. There's an airbox or something down here. The fag tray will come out as well, and all that will come out, and then we can remove the dash. So hopefully you enjoy. We will put a box on this as well because it's not actually, the box isn't fitted, so we'll fit that when we put it all back together. So just mental note of things. These little switches need to come out, take care steady, because obviously it's an old car. We don't want to break anything. We need some baggy. I know it's going to drop splat. I'm going to cover that hole up. Oh, it's getting warm in here already. Let's open the window. Right, label printer. There's other brands, but it always makes good. Set bags. And let's cover this hole up before we lose much more down there. There we go. This is where you find out why we called down the rabbit hole, because this job just seems to keep on rolling and going. So we found that there was some problems behind the dashboard. So if you shook the car, you could get the ignition to turn over. So when you're doing this, just take your time removing the dash. Obviously, if you break something, sometimes those little bits are really hard to get hold of. So just take your time, make sure you get all the bolts out and everything that needs to come out, and then slowly extract the dash from the car. So just go through. Just keep making labels and sticking them on. That all this needs to come back to here, because we don't know what we're going to remove yet. When we've got behind here, you don't know, you could be redoing the whole loom. It's a mess, so you want to know where everything goes. I do think this has been out before. I don't think this is the first time this has come out of the car, because everything is loose and not the right as well, some bits. So that's the right connection, that's the wrong screw there, you see. As you can see, I'm just taking bits out, but I am checking them and assessing them for damage or anything that will be a problem when it goes back in. Luckily there wasn't that much on this car. better. So yes, it's not pretty. So that's just a fire waiting to happen. Radios should be always secured, I suppose. In the era this was. So, dash is all out. Wiring's not the prettiest. All this needs, this is ignition wiring. So you can see why we had to rip everything out to get to this, because that's just horrible. You couldn't really get there to repair anything, so I just put some tape round to insulate everything, just to make sure that that wasn't the fault that we were seeing, but it was just, yeah, horrible stuff. So we had to rip it all out, and like you've got a earth point there, brilliant idea. So it worked back then, I suppose. So these are all earths, all off your negative, off your body. So we'll check them and make sure they're not grounding, and go from there. Wish me luck. Hopefully. So using electrical chocolate blocks, so that's those little screw things you see sometimes in houses and stuff like that, is probably not best behind a radio. I've been to a lot of cars that have had fires and stuff like that because someone's fitted a radio and used the chocolate blocks and the wires come out with heat and stuff like that. So it's better to use heat insulation, truly rated for the wattage and the ampage that's going through the car. So yeah, so as you can see, nice and tidied up. So we had to remove the bottom crash bar because there were some wires wrapped around it to make it easier access. We had to remove it anyway for the clutch pedal change of the steering column. So yeah, we just went away and just removed that, because obviously, as we've already spoke about, the clutch pedal difference was a welded in pin. If that wasn't welded in, you could have just undone a clip and took the pin out, but the pin's been welded in. I think that was done in factory. I don't think that's somebody else welding that in. So yeah, we just had to replace this and get that sorted, and then on to the next bit. And yes, Oscar had to help or hinder, one or the other, but we love him to bits, so obviously it's going to happen. Sorry, but the timer lapse was absolutely rubbish, so you don't see the timer lapse, but I have got this video of me putting the dash and the steering pedals and everything being put back in. So this little video is basically the dash is all back in, the steering column's back in, the manual steering column is back in with the 3 pedals, because obviously there's a little bit of difference on the pedals, was only slightly a little bit different. There was a welded pin on the manual to the automatic, so you couldn't just nick that pin and then put the clutch pedal on, you had to grind it off. So it was a lot easier and a lot safer to keep it original. Just swap the automatic steering column for the manual steering column. The only difference was the peg on the clutch pedal. So yeah, easily done. So just a couple of bolts at the bottom and done. If anyone wants a video of what we had to take out, I can do a little quick video for somebody. So yes, the next video we'll be getting the car running, hopefully well. Going for a little test drive, just down the road and back again, just to make sure everything was straight and true, and then hopefully on to MOT and everything goes well and we can hand the keys back to Tim and you'll be a happy boy. So yeah, see you soon.